All right, we got a more cash version of Let's Talk Cards for you today. We are prepping for the flip trade up in Chattanooga, and thought we'd just kind of go over and talk about what our plans are, what we're looking forward to selling, what we're looking forward to buying in Chattanooga at the flip.
And I think just kind of like getting like an idea of, as a vendor viewpoint, what we do to kind of mentally prepare our game plan going in. Because we kind of go in with a game plan and a strategy to help us kind of stick to the plan when we get there. Because it can get a little crazy, honestly.
It can for sure. So we'll have we bought two tables. We'll have a sports table and we'll have a TCG table. You'll be over more of the sports stuff. I'll be more over the TCG stuff, and of course we'll, ask each other's opinions for deals that walk up to the table, and all of that too. But I told you this on the TCG side. I think megas are the new thing with the new games coming out, and they're just kind of, you're already starting to see it a little bit with the market. The ultra modern stuff is starting to dip a little bit.
Yeah.
Vintage has always been kind of up and down. I think we're seeing similar, trends there, but I think megas, I'm seeing more people on Instagram and in certain Discords and group chats that we're in looking for megas. I think that's the next move. So I'm going to be trying to scoop up as many mega evolutions as I can on the TCG side of things.
Gotcha. And what would you call that mid between ultramodern and vintage, like that middle area?
I mean, it's called mid era.
Okay,
but that's what it's called. But I think different people refer to it in different ways, because like some people see vintage as just like Wizard of the Coast stuff, but that's like still like most sets then would be mid era, and that's just a lot. Like when you talk about the Gen 4, Gen 5, which is kind of getting popular now because of the black and white stuff. But then X and Y, and I think that's kind of the next stuff that's going to be hot is X and Y, because that's when they had all those megas introduced. So we'll see. And also, like, that's when Pokemon wasn't as popular, and so they printed less too.
Right.
So, I don't think it's going to be like the pop control on it. It's going to be pretty interesting too.
Yeah, I feel like next year coming up, it's going to be like, what was printed less and what's the coolest of that, what's not printed as much. Because you look at pop on the ultra modern stuff, dude, and
it's insane.
It's insane.
But it almost doesn't seem to matter. Like the Van Gogh Pikachu, like the pop count for 10s keeps shooting up.
Yeah, the time.
And like I bought mine like maybe 2 months ago for like 620-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't checked this week, but there's been several sales close to 1,000, and the pop count just keeps shooting up. So TCG does seem a little different than sports sometimes when it comes to pop counts, because sometimes it's just a lot of people want the card, like the 151 Zard, the Bubble Mew. I mean, there's several like iconic modern cards that people are going to want to keep for a long time. So this bad boy, the Moonbreon.
You think that Bubble Mew is going to be an iconic card?
I don't know. I hope not, because I sold mine way too early.
I mean, I think it's like at a point now, it's like kind of like a decent buy, right? As far as like market.
Yeah, it's fallen so much. Yeah, it's fallen so much.
It's a sick card though.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome. So that's specifically what I'm looking for. Of course, we're going to buy all sorts of stuff that come to our table, but sports side, whether it's people that walk up to us or when you're kind of doing laps around, because they've got a crazy amount of tables. Hats off to what they've built.
200 plus tables.
Yeah, the flip trade, and they've been getting after it. We've been with them for a little over a year now, just doing shows, and that brand, they have done such a good job of growing that brand.
It has grown exponentially, like gradually, like over the last year, like since we started.
Yeah.
And they were already established when we started, but it has grown like crazy.
Yeah. And some of it's the hobby, and some of it's just the work that they've done to really promote that brand. So on the sports side of it, what are you specifically looking for?
Always looking for case hits. Always in the market for case hits.
Yep.
On card autos. Stuff that's just liquid. I mean, and deep cuts for me is like Alvin Kamara, Tim Duncan. Always buying that for my PC.
PC buys.
Okay. Yeah, PC buys. I'm kind of looking for 2023-24 flawless NBA. It's just that rookie class is just so hot. And if I can find some nice in-case stuff, some Case and Wallace, a Sword Thompson, some couple rookies that I like and big names, I'll be buying that up as well. And I think a big buy, it might not be this weekend, but I think LeBron James is going to be a big buy for me coming up. As far as like long-term holds, I feel like the end of his reign is coming to an end. Whether that means retirement or not, I mean, I feel like his retirement is coming soon, so I want to grab something nice before he
retires, because then it's just going to shoot up.
Yeah, but I feel like as soon as he announces it, it's gone.
Yeah.
So it's like,
no,
I got to get in now. I mean, I missed like the bottom floor, but I got to get him now. Wow.
Yeah, hopefully you got another year to do all that.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That'd be nice.
We'll see. On the sports side, like we kind of went over this a little bit, but when we did a show last week, but just talking about guys from, like, I think Stroud is still incredibly low, and just folks from like that era, that have, I don't know, in the league 2 or 3 years. Like you mentioned Drake London, I think he's interesting. Just guys like that. I think Herbert is still an interesting buy. I know you said that he's a little too high, but I think if you get the right buy for Herbert, and then Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, I still think is low, and Joe Burrow I still think is low as far as what they're going to be going into the season. So obviously your elite quarterbacks, you can't have too many of those.
True. This is like kind of my ideology going into it. So for longer term, when I say longer term, I mean as far as sitting in, grading.
Okay.
That's a basketball play.
Yes.
As far as faster flips, I'm going for football. Season's coming up. It's right around the corner. PSA's backed up. So with basketball, buying raw basketball clean, it gives me time to get a bulk submission in.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of feel out the market and get those submissions in. Whereas football, it's kind of like, if I put in a submission now, I probably won't get it back to like week 3.
Did you get the notification last night on our PSA account?
Yeah, I saw it. Which one was that?
It was a Pokemon bulk sub. We sent it in like 2 months ago, and it's just now starting to get graded.
I think a joke we have, like our ongoing joke, is like, if we send in a Pokemon sub, it's going to be vintage by the time we get it back.
Yeah. So maybe it'll be, maybe people will be, looking after it or whatever.
I think timing in the hobby is super important. Mm-hmm. So that's how I work timing in my head. So it's like, get your hot quarterbacks now, get your hot football now, graded, and then start getting your basketball submissions for next season. Because if you put in a bulk sub, it's like, just forget about it,
I mean, who are guys that you want for next season? I mean,
basketball.
Yeah.
Asor for sure. The Thompson twins, easy.
Yes, amen. Yep.
In the off season, once the playoffs are over, I'll be buying SGA, Halliburton, Brunson. I feel like Brunson's still low. I said that last show. I feel like even with this crazy run, I feel like Brunson's low still.
If the Thunder win, like most people are saying they will,
yeah,
SGA's market is going to be ridiculous.
Probably, yeah. I don't see that. Like, I don't mind buying Jalen Williams. He's the second in command. Okay. Chet Holmgren, I was high on him at the beginning of last year, so that's another player I don't mind buying. I have an extensive list of players I don't mind buying going into that basketball season.
And that does feel different, like when you talk about basketball in the hobby versus football. Football, it's all centered around, just a few quarterbacks. That is a part of the basketball side of things. Right. And the baseball side of things. We just don't we haven't had as much success with baseball, so we don't dabble in it as much. I do have a really nice Ronald Acuna, though, that I think will sell this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
I was going to ask you, do you have any baseball prospects that you're looking at buying? Or
we've just had such a hard time moving baseball. I haven't been paying attention as much. I'm still high on Ellie.
Okay.
I think his market's still going to be low in the long-term scheme of things. And I know people like some of the rookies now, but I just haven't been following it a ton when it comes to all that. But I was talking to somebody about like a low-numbered auto Mike Trout last night. Mm-hmm. It's like, the big names, the potential, all-stars and Hall of Famers and all that. I've had more success doing that than the trendy prospect stuff.
Right. Yeah.
When it comes to baseball. But
I feel like you really have to follow baseball to like be on top of those prospects.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you're all over it, that could be a super, prosperous game. I just don't do it.
No, I feel you.
I just don't do it.
I definitely agree.
What are some things that we'll have at our tables tomorrow that you're excited about? You want to go through anything?
Yeah. Let's see. I will have this Alvin Kamara, first year Alvin Kamara Kaboom, 2019. That's raw.
Now, are the older Kabooms, are the verticals still, are these just hobby as well, or is that a newer thing?
That's a newer thing.
Okay.
So I think that was just like how they were printed.
Okay.
I will have a Jordan Love, Pandora, out of 25.
That's sick.
9 on the print.
That's so sick.
Ant Downtown. He
Oh,
couldn't
I
get
thought
it
you
done
sold
this.
that.
No, he couldn't get it done this year. But I mean, he still made it to the West Conference Finals, and still my guy for sure.
Still your guy. Yeah, some sports stuff that I've got. Stroud Silver. Can't ever have too many Strouds. And then I'm bringing a handful of like low-end Jaden Daniels, all PSA 10s of different kinds. I got a feeling those will go pretty quick because I assume these like $40 or $50 each.
Yeah.
The hottest
They
name in
should
the
go, yeah.
Is he the hottest name in the hobby right now? I think so. That's not crazy to say, right?
Arguably, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, got just lower end some like Brandon Miller. He always seems to move as well. Just with where we are, this is the gas.
These are my big boys.
This is the gas right here.
2022 Patrick Mahomes Color Blast Prism PSA 10s.
Sick.
These will be at the table. Come get them.
Sick. Yeah, and as far as like the TCG side of things, I've got all sorts of stuff with, Moonbreon. We'll have the tag teams are super hot right now.
Yeah.
Reshiram and Charizard tag team action. And then just can't ever have enough vintage Zards. And then this card I want to sell so bad because I hate it. I'm so mad at it. I sent this Venusaur in to get a PSA 1. And they gave it a 1.5, which I had never seen before. And it's like, it's either pop 1 or pop 2. I forget.
They knew you wanted that one, so they're like, let's give them a 0.5.
Yeah, whatever. But, all sorts of, modern hits with like, Raging Bolt. Got more Charizards here. The Terrabagos, Big Turtle Boy. Everybody loves this Charmander art. The fun Pikachu. So we got all sorts of stuff. Come by the flip in Chattanooga this weekend.
Rattler will be there. Come get your Rattler.
If you're a Saints fan and you come to our table, you're going to be so stoked.
I will have my Rattler.
You're going to be so stoked. So, if you're watching on YouTube, not sure where all we're going to post this yet, but if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. And if you're watching it on Instagram, please give us a follow there. We'd love to have you. And if you're close to Chattanooga, come by. Or if you're interested in any of these cards we posted, just reach out to us for sure.
Auburn.cards.
As well. Yeah, Auburn.cards on Instagram. And then Let's Talk Cards Pod on Instagram as well. We'll post it there. But he's Elijah. I'm Zach. Peace.